If you're looking to rent on your own for the first time, this video is for you, because for me, I didn't know anything about renting. I wish I saw a video like this. We are back with another one, and this is for people that have never rented. I'm going to share with you my experience of renting, the process of renting, and when you start looking for a flat or a apartment, what to look out for, where to go. Disclaimer, everything that I'm gonna say in this video is based on my own experience. Take it with a pinch of salt. Do your own research as well. I am not a lawyer, housing agency, or anything like that. I'm just gonna tell you based on my experience how it was for me, because for me it was very easy. It took me about 3 months, but because I was very indecisive to get a flat, so I'm just gonna share with you my experience. So the first thing in your mind, you're like, okay, I'm ready to move out, but where to go? Now you need to figure out the location where you want to rent. Firstly, how did I find my location, and how did I know that I want to move from London to Birmingham? November 2022, my friend invited me to Birmingham for an event, and it was the first time I was going to Birmingham. It was around Christmas time, November to December. It was around Christmas time, and I love Christmas. Christmas period is one of my favorite holidays. And when I went to Birmingham, they had a Christmas market going on, and because I love Christmas and the fairy lights and the atmosphere of Christmas, I saw that when I went to Birmingham. It was really in the city center area. For me, everything was just close by. I saw a grocery store that I usually shop when I'm at London. The transportations look like they come frequently. When I go in the buses look clean for me as well. And it was just an atmosphere different from what I've heard people saying about Birmingham. Most things that I heard about Birmingham is negative, but when I was there, it wasn't that for me. I believe because I am not someone that go out a lot. I really go to the pub or clubs or anything like that. I'm a homebody. I'll go to the gym, go to the shopping center, a restaurant now and again, and it was just me. And I enjoy being by myself. There was a lot of homeless people outside. You've got drunk people outside as well. But for me, once I reach the station, I go straight from the station to my house. I don't linger around to be in any altercation with anyone. I'll avoid trouble. So with me, moving to Birmingham, I know that I would be okay because I'm not an outgoing person. For you, it might be different. So yeah, well, that's all my backstory of why and how I found my location. I've got my notes here because there's a lot to cover and I didn't want to miss anything. I might miss some things, but we have the most important things here. When looking for location, you want to make sure that there's easy access to transportation like buses or trains, because if you live alone, you need to take note of winter and fall period, because those times it get dark very quickly, and you don't want, when you're coming from work, like 5 o'clock, it's already dark. Once you reach the bus stop, you have another 10 minutes walk to your flat. Make sure your bus stop is close to where you live. Me, the bus stop was just 2 minutes walk to my flat. So that's one of the reasons why I closed on that flat as well. Things that you should think about is your work. Are you going to work from home, work remote, hybrid? How far it is from your workplace as well? Are you willing to relocate? And yes, I was willing to relocate. For me, I relocate from London to Birmingham. I was working hybrid. I worked 2 days in the office, but if it was 5 days in the office, I couldn't move to Birmingham. So that was a factor that played a big part, having the opportunity to work from home. Because my parents live in London, sometimes I'll just stay over. I work Thursday and Friday so I can get it out of the way. When asked, how long are you gonna rent for? Some agencies, they do 6 months and some do 12 months and some are flexible. Usually on a 12-month contract, you can renew the lease. And after you've got the location in mind, it's time to do your research. I use Rightmove. There is something, I think Zoopla. I'm not sure if I am pronouncing it properly, but I use Rightmove. I'm very paranoid in that way where I want to use a credible source to do viewings, to book viewings from, and because Rightmove is very popular. So that's the only one I use. There might be other platforms, but from my experience, Rightmove, and it was good for me. Now you've got the location in mind and you're researching, you can now look at the properties that are available. Like, do you want a flat? Do you want a house? Do you want a semi-detached house? You can filter out what you really want and what you're really looking for. Then you should always have a budget. Always have a budget before you start all of this. Always know what the maximum you're willing to go and the minimum that you're willing to go. Well, the minimum is not really important, but the maximum, so you don't go over that. You should know whether or not you want a 1 bedroom or a 2 bedroom or a studio. Sometimes studio work out well than 1 bedroom. I've viewed some studios that I was like, I could take this instead of a 1 bedroom, but because everything was in the same vicinity, I didn't want that. I want everything to be separated, at least the bedroom to be separated from the living room. So that's why I was really like, yes, I want a 1 bedroom. I viewed a studio flat and it was for £850. That was very good. When you're viewing as well, they would also say whether or not bills is going to be included or bills is going to be excluded. And those are some questions that you need to ask when you are doing your viewing. I might also make a video on questions that you should ask when you're viewing apartments. Let me know if that's something you want to see. When I was looking at Rightmove and I saw an apartment that I like, I always send a short email to the agency saying, hi, I'm interested in this property. Please, can you confirm your availability for bookings? Some of them are private landlords and some of them are like these agencies. Or I love the one that when you click and you go on their website, you can see slots that you can book. That's my favorite one. Most popular ones are they will get back to you and let you know that we're available on this date, if you can come in on this day. But some will also ask you for more information before they schedule a booking with you. Like they'll ask you for your salary, what you're looking for. You need to have that in mind before the viewing, because I think they don't want to waste your time and theirs as well. So you need to know if you're looking for a 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom studio, you should already know what you're looking for. I always say 1 and 2 bedroom. So they show me both so I can make my mind up and be more flexible and see what's out there as well. I never just say 1 bedroom. I want to see both, but I think sometimes they go with people that know what they really want. But to be honest, this is your journey. So just say what you want, to be honest. It is quite important as well. Before you do all those viewings, you really want to look at the pictures that they are listing, the cover pictures, etc. Because sometimes some of these people are scammers. I remember when I was viewing, I sent an email. It, for some reason to me, it didn't seem professional. And then there was a documentary that came out on Netflix. I don't know if it's Netflix or on YouTube. They were talking about people that got scammed when they were doing viewings. This is because they copy photos from other platforms and upload it on the internet, and people fall for it, and there wasn't any property to view. Some people will send deposit first, and when it's time to sign the dotted lines, it was a scam. Look at your pictures. I think there is some filter on Google that you can click to see if this picture will appear in other searches, and that's what I did, and I saw it somewhere else and I emailed them and said I'm not coming. Maybe it wasn't, maybe I was just overthinking, but better safe than sorry. For these viewing, I would recommend that you view these places with someone and don't go by yourself. Even though I went by myself, but I was very careful with how I do it, because when it's like a private landlord or a private house, something like that, I wouldn't go by myself. But when it's like a flat with a lot of people, I don't know how to call those new renting buildings that they're currently making, I went alone. But I wouldn't recommend going alone. But really think about it, to be honest, because you'd never know who you're going to meet. Are these people who they say they are? Look at their emails, look at their signature, even though some of these people are very, very, very strategic. with when they're doing these things. I am always skeptical. Don't just trust anyone when you're booking these viewings. Look at reviews as well. Don't just trust anyone that says, oh, come and view today. Remember, you might need to take time off work because some of these viewings, they are done only during the weeks. Some they do on weekends. So you might have to book time off work to do this. And I would say try your best to get about 3 to 5 viewings on one day. If you get 3, it's okay, or 2, it's okay. But don't just go to view 1. If there's some way that it's on the one you can view, do it. But try your best to get like 3 to 5 viewings in a day. 3 minimum, 3 maximum, or 3 minimum. You get what I'm saying? You won't waste your day. If you should book that day off, you get a lot of things done. And you want to make sure that these bookings are spaced out. Most of these bookings that I did, they last about 30 to 45 minutes, some 15 minutes, because it depends on the property that you view. Some properties, they have gym, they have meeting rooms, they have postal rooms. So they are going to show you around the entire complex or the entire building. So that's why some viewings are longer than some. But it's not going to be perfect, to be honest. Like maybe sometimes you might finish earlier. If you finish earlier, you can email the next viewing and ask them if you can come. If you can come because you've got time now, or you just wait until your time. I remember I've booked about 3 in one day or 4 in one day. And the first one that I did, they took long. The viewing took longer, and then I missed my appointment. But I missed the appointment for the one that I took. So I didn't really regret it because the one that I took, I fell in love with it, but I was meant to go to another one, but everything worked out in the end. But I had to reschedule. And remember, I left London to book viewings in Birmingham. So in my case, it's different. If you are going to be in the same area, maybe you don't mind viewing one place. But because I was leaving from London to Birmingham, it would make sense to have about 3 to 4 bookings in one day, if you get what I'm saying. Or some people, they would like go to hotels and do the booking the same day. That's if you are, I think I did that once. I went to Birmingham and I booked a apart hotel and I stayed there after a viewing. But I don't recommend that anyway, if you're someone that want to save money. But for me, I was just going with the flow, and I just wanted, because Birmingham is where I wanted to stay, I just had a feel around the place, walk around, book the hotel, walk around, because this is where I was going to live. So it didn't really matter to me, to be honest. Make a note of your surrounding. When you go there, that's why I'm saying that I booked that apart hotel once. Get a feel of the surrounding, look around, people, what the atmosphere is like, walk to the shopping center as well, take the public transport. You're going to time yourself as well, how long it take you to go to the public transport. You want to know about post office. That's why I didn't mention post office, corner store, bus stops, gyms. You want to know how long it takes to get to these destinations. When you're viewing the property, you should also have your non-negotiables. That word always, non-negotiables, it's that word. You want to always know what your non-negotiables are. Do you want a property that has on-site gym? Do you want a property that is close to the train station or is close to the hospital? For me, I really wanted on-site gym, but the one with on-site gyms, they were more expensive. And then I looked at the Google map, then I noticed that there was a gym around. It wasn't close by. The gym was a 20 minutes walk away. If I took the bus, it would have been about 10 minutes. But I mostly walked to the gym because I wanted the walk to be my warm up. So it wasn't really a problem for me with the gym, but I would have more liked it to be on site. With the flat that I rent, there were discounts available to the residents for another gym. So ask all those questions. There are plenty of questions that you need to ask when you're doing viewings. And as I said, I'm going to try to remember those questions and make a video of them. If you want to know, let me know. As myself, for a first-time renter, when I was doing the viewings, I had option of furnished apartment, unfurnished apartment or partially furnished apartment. I wanted partially furnished apartment, to be honest. I wanted an apartment that just have the bed, because I have my small business stuff and I was going to take them with me. But then I look at it again. I was like, I don't want to move all my stuff from London to Birmingham. But I still ended up moving them. I rented a furnished apartment, but in the end, I still had to move most of my stuff from London to Birmingham. I'm thankful that my brother had a moving van that could fit everything, and we did one trip. So that's something that you need to think about as well. Who's gonna help you to move if you're moving from a city to another city? I know that they do have moving companies, but I was fortunate to have my brother with a van, so that didn't really cost me. The first day that I was moving out as well, I went to Sainsbury's and I bought my groceries. I spent £300 at Sainsbury's on groceries, because I know I don't have a car and I am going to need these things. So that's a good tip. If you're getting a moving van as well, buy your groceries so you can use them, your essential, your bathroom supplies as well, like your liquid soap, those heavy things that you can't really walk from the store to your house with, or you don't want to take them on a bus. I know that people do Ubers as well, do use Ubers. I was thinking out of the box when I'm like, broski, let's go to Sainsbury's and buy my groceries. So on the first night I can cook anyways, or you can do takeaway as well. No harm in that. But I suggest, so pack a box of groceries, or buy the groceries the day before, pack it in a box, put groceries on it, and move it along with the box so you have your groceries ready. Maybe some things like milk, etc. Milk or chicken, you can leave those and just buy them when you get there. Furnished or unfurnished, the prices varies. The price tend to be more when it's furnished. Unfurnished, it's cheaper. If you're gonna go in a flat, if you're gonna go on a higher floor, the price is gonna be more. Lower floor, the price is gonna be less. I remember when I was moving in, the rent was about £995 if I want to stay on the first floor, the second floor. But because I want to stay on the sixth floor, my rent was £1,050. Above me, there's £1,100. Then as you go up, £1,200. So the rent varies on the size of the room, the floor, and other things. Bear in mind that when you are viewing, sometimes they might try to rush you to make your decision. You don't want to do that. I made my decision on the day because of one thing. Even though I said I made the decision on the day, I was gonna pay on the day, and then I was like, you know what, let me just go home and think about it, because they will try to rush you into not signing the contract, but putting down a deposit or something. My apartment, there wasn't. Yes, I did need to put down a deposit. Some you don't have to do deposits, but the reason why I was so sure is because around December period, they're always giving discounts. So the discount that I got was, if I move in before Christmas, I will get a 50% off the rent. So 1,050 divided by 2, you do the math. So I was like, yes, I'm taking it. And it was new. It was a new apartment as well. No one has ever lived there. I was the first one that was going to lay in that bed, was going to use that bathroom. Everything was new. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this one. The bed, I loved it. It's just that it didn't have a on-site gym. I was just weighing up everything that, oh, there's a bus stop close by. It is 10 minutes walk from the shopping center. It's new. It has everything that I need on it except the gym. There's a concierge downstairs. They take your posts, because I'm not going to be there every time. So they collect your post, then they send you an email that you've got a post to collect. I like that service. So I'm like, yes, I'm taking it. I called my mom and I was like, I viewed this place alone. There wasn't any red flags. And I would have not gone alone. But another time when I view others, one of my friend came with me for that viewing. Yes, I called my mom and I told her that I saw the place that I like, I'm gonna take it. And then she's like, oh yes, take it if you like it. And then it was in the back of my mind like, should I sleep on this or anything? But there was something I thought I didn't have my card to make the deposit. So I walked out of the building, then I found the card in my pocket. Then I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go home, think of it. I went home, and then the next day I paid the deposit because they sent me all the information. The next day I paid the deposit, but they were like, oh, this is gonna go fast because this is a deal thing. But you need to just think. Don't make any rash decisions because this is gonna be your money, your time, no rash decision, even though it's too good, no rash decision. But everything worked out in the end. I loved where I lived. One thing about it though, the view that I got, I didn't like that view, so I won't take that view anymore. The view was me seeing other apartment building in that area because it was like a semicircle, so you can see other residents, and it has a floor to ceiling window. And I didn't get to use that enough because in nighttime, if I turn on the light, people can see me. And I want my privacy. So there wasn't enough privacy when it comes on to the view. I rather the view of the city looking out on the trees or buildings, but not my fellow residents. So this is subjective. Some people say if you like the place, you shouldn't show that you like it. And some people is like, if you like it, you should show that you like it. But someone was like, this is nice. Wow, love this, love that, but it depends on you, to be honest. Depends on your personality. Can you keep in? Because you don't know. And I must say as well, the price that I saw on the website was the price that I got the apartment for. For some landlords as well, you might see, because I went to this place to view it. It was £950 for a 1-bedroom. And then afterwards, they want me to bid. I am not bidding for any flat. I refuse to bid for a flat. If I'm bidding, it would be to the maximum that I want. But for me, because I didn't know anything about renting, I thought I saw it online for $950 and that's what I was gonna get. When I sent in my information, it was for $950 and they're like, so what's your budget? I'm like, $950 because $950 is what's there. But I think other people might put a higher offer. So that's when I was like, oh, some of these people, what's on the website is not what they're really letting it for. I can now tell the ones that are gonna bid and the ones that what you see on the website is what you're gonna get. So those are the ones that I'm now drawn to view. If I see 1,050, that's what I intend to pay. I'm not bidding for anything. Now you've seen the flat that you like. You are now going to get all your paperwork that you need. They're going to tell you what you need. You're going to need references from your employer. You're going to need about 3 months pay slip. You are going to need references, bank statements. They might do a credit check as well. Yes, they're going to do a credit check. Your salary as well. Your salary should reflect that you are able to pay 12 months rent. Your salary will determine whether or not you can afford your apartment. Then they'll tell you your moving date. For some, they want you to move in as soon as possible, or you give them a date when you can move in, and if you agree on that, that's when you will move in. So, and you get your keys and everything like that. If I missed out anything, please let me know in the comments. I really love talking about renting on your own because, as I said, I'm an advocate of that. Talking about renting flats, by the way, and not houses, because I don't have experience with renting houses alone. I rather rent flats if I'm living alone with other people, other residents on the flat. And the places that I rent as well, they had social gatherings, so you can get to know your neighbors or people on your floor, etc. But there's a bit of community when you rent a flat on a apartment building. But if you rent a house, you're like on your own. That's gonna be it for this video. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.